Let me go to New Orleans and the second worst home field advantage over the last 5 years. I think this would surprise a lot of people because we think of the rocking Saints as a great home place to play. But if you look at Neflo's very analytical regression tracking model, whatever it is, I trust it. Seems to be rigorously done. Over the last 5 years, they've been the second worst home field advantage. And if you track that, that's essentially when Drew Brees retired or Drew Brees was no longer great. So we have this representative bias where we remember New Orleans as being this great home field advantage, very difficult to play. And when they're good, rarely, but when it happens, it is a very home field advantage. But in this down trending time, especially with a new coach, one win, I think it's a particularly easy place to play. I felt like when my 49ers went down there, they had no trouble at all. So I essentially think of this as not a neutral, but closer to a neutral, not 2 points for a home field advantage. And then all the other metrics point towards the Patriots. If you look at non-turnover offensive line of scrimmage, Patriots are seventh in the NFL. Saints are 30th. I mean, that's just one of many metrics that'll point to that. Really, the only thing, I mean, if you look at turnovers, for example, which I think is not predictive, the Saints have the sixth best net turnover EPA in the NFL, while the Patriots are 21st. I just think that means that the Patriots have been 6 spots unlucky away from average, mostly, and the Saints have been 12 spots or whatever, 10 spots, I guess, if they're sixth and the average is 16th, better than average. So the only thing that makes these teams kind of close on paper, I think, has been largely luck. Patriots disadvantage, Saints advantage. So I think on a neutral, this should be a 5 point line, 6 point line maybe, and I don't give but a point for the Saints. So point and a half of value. Patriots should be serious favorites here. And I was a little bit worried about, all right, they had this huge surprise win as a big underdog last week. How does that scenario play out historically? Well, if you're a road favorite and you just won as an underdog of 7 points or more, it's pretty rare actually that it happens. Since 2012, you're 4-2, but you're covering 6 points per game. So it makes sense to me logically that we see if you're a big dog and then you win and you're a big dog again, it's hard to get motivated. But when you're a big dog and you win and you're feeling yourself and you have an opportunity to put your stamp on the season with another win, you're favored to do so, you generally do better than the market expects. So that's my basic handicap that I thought of after why I really like the game. And that's because I saw the trench report from my man Scott Seidenberg, and this is isolated as his number one trench report mismatch, or what I should say is offensive line versus defensive line net mismatch, which kind of just backs up the fact that the Patriots have been a lot better on the season when you look at the most predictive stats. So give me the Patriots laying the 3.5 at New Orleans. You can actually get -3, -20, whatever you want to do. Shop around. 3.2, whatever you get. I do like the line. I do like the Patriots here.
Mac, Sleepy, any thoughts on the Patriots this week in New Orleans?
This is a tough game for me. One, the line, sitting there at like 3.5 at most of these books. It's just a little bit difficult for me. I've been in the Saints camp because I don't believe that they're one of the worst teams in the league. Like maybe like bottom three. I at least feel like their offense could at least put up some points. So I've had respect for the Saints pretty much all season long. And the Patriots were a team that I was high on coming into the year. I like New England. It's just I don't know if I can trust them, like Mac was saying, off of a big win going on the road. And I think what concerns me the most here about New England is the fact that New Orleans actually won a game. So there's life there. At least some good feeling. Now, was that their Super Bowl win? I don't know. I don't think so. That game's probably going to come down the road here, I think, for the Saints at some point. But you got to figure there's a little bit of life, at least with the Saints, at least coming into to this week, because I think that they can't win this game. They're probably thinking the same thing. It's not like they have a daunting task in front of them. So I'm passing this game pretty much all around.
I think you can make the argument that hey, that for the Saints, they got that monkey off of their back and they're a little bit laxed, right? And you can make the argument that hey, that it's motivation that their record doesn't indicate of how bad they've been this season. I know the game against the Seahawks where they got blown out 44-13. Okay, but in the other games they were pretty competitive. But you also take a look at last week, right? They were +5 of the turnover margin against the New York Giants. Like that's not going to happen with the New England Patriots here. And I think if it was any other coach, or what I should say is that I have faith in Mike Vrabel saying, "Hey, we won in a huge division game against the Buffalo Bills last week. We can't be lax this week going into New Orleans against one of the teams that was projected to be one of the worst in the entire football league from a win totals perspective, right?" So I think he's going to get these guys ready. Drake May played a fantastic game, not only last week but throughout the season. But I think I'm on Mac's side here, -3.5 here with the Patriots. I think this is a game where they do show up. You mentioned it, the mismatch that's going to happen in the trenches to the offensive line versus defensive line. If you're not able to generate pressure on Drake May, I mean, he could just have easy pickings back there. And one player that has really, I think, gotten now past that significant injury that he had was Stephon Diggs, right? I think it takes a couple games for players like that to get back up to speed and kind of get their legs and win back under them. We've now seen Stephon Diggs in back-to-back games been absolutely fantastic. So I think that's just going to continue for this New England Patriots team. So yeah, I'm with back here -3.5 against the New Orleans Saints
I think
in
I'm
this
a
game.
little bit just trying to make up for the fact that Sleepy, you told me, hey, last pick in your quarterback draft, take a shot at Drake May. I went with JJ McCarthy, and I've just been kicking myself ever since. So this is probably at least 10% me subconsciously being like, I should have bet on the Patriots all along.
I think if you actually watch Drake May though, I mean you kind of gotta like what you see with him right now. Like there's confidence with him when he's just in the pocket, and you don't normally see that with
Yeah.
guys that
He's completing 74% of his passes. It's crazy.
yeah. And I mean I came into the season there looking at him from last year, and I was like, this dude doesn't look like he's all that bad, and just the fact that you get like a guy like Diggs, I mean he's going to help you, and yeah, so. I wish you would have took him, but hey, you know what? There's always next year.
Yeah, I'm winning the draft right now because of Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. So we'll see how it
Hmm.
goes. But it'd be nice to have May in my back pocket.
Last point I'll make about the Patriots here. I mean, they're in a stretch of games here where I mean they're very winnable games. They got this. They got Saints week 6. They go to Tennessee week 7. About Mike Vrabel going back to his former team, and then they have the Browns in week 8 here, so they could string together possibly a 5-game winning streak here.